Ambassador, I like you to talk briefly on the issue of, debt trap diplomacy, which, I mean, I'm sure you must have heard about it. Nigerians talk about it, almost all the time. And, there are examples to point at. Right now, I hear, China is third on the list of on our debt list, third highest, and all that. So how do we get out of this? Should that arise, a situation where we are unable to, repay our loans to China?
Yes, thank you very much, Claire. Let me just, before I answer your question, make a clarification. The 30 billion tons that I said steel production is not per year. It is the cumulative production since 2017, in China. So I think, in 2017, China produced 1.8 billion tons of steel, rather instead of the 3 million they produced in 1985. So just by way of clarification, I don't want to be quoted as saying China produced 30 billion tons a year. No, 1.8 billion by 2017. That said, I think, the issue of debt is a sovereign decision of a country, to go and discuss with partners to borrow in order to inject capital or funds into the economy to develop specific projects. Our loans from China are state loans guaranteed by the Chinese government, the Chinese Development Bank, and our own central bank and the government. And they are loans taken for specific purposes. For instance, the building of the ports in Lagos, railways, the Abuja, rail line, the Mambila Plateau, the Mambila hydroelectric power, the hydroelectric power in Niger, Shiroro, and others. These are tied to specific projects and programs. They are not loans taken just in order to furnish offices or build houses and other things. They are loans tied to concrete projects. And the nature of these loans are actually, in most cases, very, very low interest rate loans. The problem arises from the timing of the use, accessing and the use of the loans and the completion of projects. As the other panelists have indicated, policy framework and structural cohesion in our country dictate the extent to which we use these facilities. So the issue of debt trap is a perception created by critics of the relationship between China and Africa in terms of the benefits that we are getting. Let us remember that the greatest debtor country in the world today is the United States of America, owing trillions, to private entities and also to other countries like Saudi Arabia and China. So the issue of debt is a question of management and prudent, decision to maximize the use of the resources you have obtained. So it's a sovereign decision. And because of that, it is not something that is going to lead to recolonization of our country or imposition of some dictates by China on us. So let us not be so particularly, concerned about this matter, because our policy planners, they know what they're doing. Our government leaders, they know what they're doing in terms of accessing these facilities. The use of this